So, in a nutshell, Sudd City Adventures is a short, lighthearted, hand-drawn, point-and-click adventure meets visual novel, set in a punny world of superheroes.
Hi, we're the development team of Sudd City Interactive, and we're going to hot potato some Q&A about our game. My question is for you, Molly. What are some of your favorite inspirations that you drew for this game?
So for this game, we looked at other games like Murder by Numbers, Phoenix Wright, and Frog Detective, and comics like 90s X-Men, which made it end up feeling like a really character-driven comedy adventure. Amanda, what are some of the personal challenges you had to overcome to get this game done?
Well, I'm one of those portrait artists that has all of their subjects sort of just looking wistfully at the viewer from this blank void with no backgrounds. So doing art that requires multiple environments was definitely something new. But my mom has a background in interior design and my dad has a master's in architecture, so I should by now know how to draw rooms.
She was also our only artist.
Yes. So you're gonna get what you're gonna get what I give you. So Molly, why did you want to make this game specifically?
So we talked about it a lot. We had a bunch of ideas since we've been friends for so long, and we decided to narrow it down based on what we thought would work well with all our strengths together. And we hope players are willing to give something a bit different a try. Paul, what did you love most about game development?
Oh man, so we've always loved comic books, and I love that we were able to essentially take what was a comic book idea and turn it into a visual novel. I love our wacky characters. They have such different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, no matter what their superpower is, they're still human who crave social attention or want to eat toaster pastries or take a nap on a couch. So really enjoyed the character writing. It was a lot of fun. Amanda, what tone were you trying to convey with the game?
So the game is really driven by your interactions in the story, and our storytelling really depended on all of our senses of humor. So I think Molly and I have sort of this darker, more deadpan humor, something that's sort of more observational but kind of topical. And me particularly, I'm just a meme lord. So just the dankest, dumbest, most absurd humor. So I do want to thank Paul for giving this game sort of a nice and bright, optimistic tone to sort of balance us out. Definitely made it more good-natured and wholesome. But I will say all three of us think that having the refrigerator magnet spelled butts is peak humor. So Paul, what advice would you give to other aspiring developers on how they can publish their own game?
I think the best advice really is to stay motivated. Game development is a roller coaster. There were so many highs that we got from seeing completed artwork or completing a dialogue for a scene. But you have to stay motivated. We also had a lot of lows in taking in feedback and trying to make something better. Spoiler alert, gameplay and writing are not always great in the first draft. So being critical with each other and honest with each other is how we got better and focused on making a better game. Molly, was publishing your own indie game what you expected?
So my day job is a game programmer, and it was my night job while we were working on this project too. I really enjoyed being able to set our own schedule and priorities. We were all able to agree to do things like push our date back to get more features in and proudly label ourselves free-range developers rather than crunching, which is something that doesn't always happen in the games industry. Amanda, what do you want players to take away from experiencing the game?
So first of all, I want people to sort of walk away with this deep-seated anger and resented at the amount of amazing puns that they've been subjected to.
So many puns.
So many. But honestly, I just want to give folks a nice short escape. Something that's fundamentally feel-good, wholesome, and enjoyable. So my enjoyment of comics stemmed from the more campy and funny rather than the dark and gritty. So I want that to shine through both the art and the storytelling.
Well, thank you for watching our Sudd City Interactive Q&A. Follow us on Twitter at Sudd City to continue the conversation. Sudd City Adventures for PC is now playable on itch.io and Steam.
Hello, I am Sean Volk. I'm working as the lead game designer for Rayori and also for Cartridge Monsters, which is Dave's not here yet, I believe, but that's the Happenstance Games booth. So if you have any questions about either game, you can go ahead and ask me. I'll probably just talk about my experience as an indie game developer. I decided to get into indie games when I learned and got VR. I was blown away and I decided I want to get in it. And for my first project, Rayori, I decided to go with bringing an existing concept or game into VR because that would be a more easy experience than designing and creating a whole new game that's also VR. And a lot of people also were, like me, wanting to play the game, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! If anybody's familiar. It's pretty one-to-one in terms of gameplay. And we decided to do early access, free to play, at least for now. And as we built a community before going into early access, we were making sure to have testers and letting them in on the process of trying to build a game with them. But that obviously increased tenfold once we actually went to early access. We got so many more people to help give feedback and make requests, which we were blown away with by what people were actually work on first. So we had to move our schedule around and listen to the players and give them what they wanted. And it's been pretty awesome. And as an indie developer, I've kind of noticed some things that helped us more in terms of getting downloads and actually getting people into headsets than others. And that would probably be the biggest jump we've ever seen in downloads and consistent online players was actually when a YouTuber we didn't know made a video recommending our game. That almost doubled our downloads in 2 weeks compared to the month and a half, 2 months that we'd already been out. And that is definitely something I think every indie dev needs to approach, is just seems like the social media stuff is important, but the Let's Plays, the YouTubers who are leaving reviews and just demoing our game and showing it to other people, that seems to be the best route for actually getting the word around that your game exists. We've since then released a lot of updates, and we're still working on getting the game to get out of early access, constantly adding new cards or new mechanics. And it's free to play, and I think a lot of fun. It's multiplayer mostly. We've got some decent AI that we're building up into a story mode, but it's mostly a multiplayer game. We've had tournaments, and those go great. People really enjoy playing in the tournament, but from what I've seen, we get more downloads and more attention when people load up the videos of playing the tournament than people actually just wanting to be in the tournament. It's definitely a big necessary route that I think indie devs need to take. The whole YouTube, Twitch, streamer content that people just seem to eat up. I definitely would also recommend, like we saw in the last coronavirus video, we saw that he had third-person mixed reality. People love watching videos of people in VR from that perspective instead of from the headset. I highly recommend getting that. We're going to work on that for Rayori as well. And just showcasing your game on those platforms as much as possible. That's kind of what I would recommend. And that's been my experience so far as an indie dev.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Brooks. We're Creaky Lantern Games, based in San Diego, California.
MAG has given us the opportunity to show you our new game, Street Cleaner the video game. based off of synthwave artist Street Cleaner.
The Street Cleaner project pays homage to all the revenge films, TV shows, and video games of the 1980s.
So imagine a world where Street Cleaner the movie was the big summer hit of 1988. This is the video game based off of that movie.
So keeping with the retro aesthetic, it was important for us to keep this game as authentic as possible, using the NES color palette, screen resolution, and sprite size, all while staying away from certain modern techniques like sprite rotation and scaling.
And to that point, Street Cleaner wrote the entire in-game soundtrack in NSF, Nintendo Sound format, which will also be included in the Dark Synth Outrun OST that will be available at launch.
Thanks for tuning in. Now we'd like to show you stage 4 of the game, the obligatory sewer level.
And please, add the game to your wish list on Steam. Launch is right around the corner.
See you soon.